Hi, it's Kirith with a karting video and a Gran Turismo video because it's karting in Gran Turismo. It's a daily race A this week and I've been desperately trying to rebuild my DR because of my DR reset I had with the previous penalty system. And this has got to be one of the worst races to try and rebuild your DR because it's chaos, it's constantly mental. You're never not at risk of binning yourself, someone else binning you, you binning someone else off. Just general binnage the whole time as you get a little tap here from the German driver. Dart Prince, the Prince of Darts. Let's see if we can get it back on the inside of this hairpin here. There's only really 3 corners to this track, or 3 corners you have to worry about. As we get another tap here, he's all over the track and I think he's just binned himself there, so case in point. But yeah, only really 3 corners in this track. I've gone for ABS off, so I can try and lock up the brakes as I go into the corners. Probably lock them up a bit too much going into that one. But I've got TC at 2, so I don't bin myself off and just regret it for the rest of the race. And if you do like these videos, please feel free to subscribe. We're making our way to 100 subscribers, which is just going to be absolutely mental. Now, the slipstream here is so strong at this track, but you're never really out of contention unless you fall behind that slipstream. So we're in slipstream range at the moment. Got the train behind us. Let's see what happens here at the first corner. As the Dutch driver goes in and just carries on going, so I think we'll have that position back. Thank you very much. As the 2 drivers ahead of us are fighting, Airbet GP, Johnny Airbet there, losing out as he goes off track. As we go into this, the second hairpin, and it's all kicking off a bit between the Spanish driver and the Italian. Can we make a move on the inside here? Oh, that was risky. And you can see in the radar, it's all kicking off behind me, and people just going off left, right, centre. No one fancies staying on track. So that's exactly what I mean. This is high stakes racing. You're literally putting it all on black or red at the roulette table every time you go into a corner with someone else. It's not really like real world karting, to be honest, because the steering is so twitchy. I've had to nail down the sensitivity and increase the rotation lock on my wheel, otherwise just even breathing on the wheel will send you spinning off the track. As we go round in the 3rd lap in 1st place, let's see what happens. I'm just going to dive around the inside. It's a Dutch driver again braking very late, but he does get it done that time, but we get a saviour bump from behind there to go back up into 1st place. So let's see if we can hold it. And generally speaking, I think the fastest way to drive these karts in this game is to brake very late and turn in really aggressively on braking to get the kart rotated, and then you can be on the power nice and early. And there's something to which I have to work out. I'm not the best at it in real world karting, so we'll probably see here as I brake pretty progressively and turn in progressively. And unfortunately, that's not the fastest way to drive these karts. You can gain a lot of time by throwing them into the corners really aggressively. So hopefully I'm going to improve that over the course of these daily races, as we're going to lose the lead here to the Dutch driver, who also runs a little bit wide, so we might actually get that back. But I think he's probably, I think he gets a little tap there from the Italian driver behind, so he's going to get back into 1st place. As we go basically as a pack of 4 into this 1st hairpin, I get a nice little tap and emerge in 3rd place. So it's all to play for as we're going to approach the last lap. Got the Italian driver ahead of me. We give him a little tap and he comes back and he noped out of it. So I think I just gave him a little kind of love tap there, but maybe he took it the wrong way, or he left the microwave on, had to drive back to the pits the wrong way. But anyway, we're going to come onto the last straight, back straight for the penultimate time, and it's all to play for really. So in these karting races, I could finish this race first, I could finish it last, don't really know. It's all going to hit the fan in the last lap, so let's see. As the Prince starts, it's going to give me a nice slipstream here to catch up with the front 2. So by the time we get to the 1st corner, we should be pretty much a pack. I ran a little bit wide there, but yet we are. Prince starts braking a little bit early, but it's a nice line and slots it ahead of the Dutch driver. They're going to battle it out now as we go to the 2nd hairpin, and I'm hopefully going to mop up here, taking it not too aggressively, just avoid the German driver who he's had enough of the Dutchman, punts him off the track, and losing time himself. So now up into 2nd place behind the Portuguese driver. The win is definitely on because I'm going to have the slipstream going down the back straight. So can we get a good exit? And yeah, it's a decent exit and we slot into 1st place. It's all about the gear changes now. So you can see I turn the traction control off just to have the fastest possible acceleration. But I'm going to be a sitting duck here for the drivers behind. Let's see what happens. I'm trying to hug that inside. They're going to duke it out and you couldn't write it. They both go off. and absolute disaster for them. That's what I mean. High stakes. But you can see picking up the first place there in my, looking resplendent in that Pikachu racing overalls. We'd love to have something like that in real life. Probably never going to happen, but let's go into another race. And you can see this guy, the Hungary driver, looking for a shout out. So there you go, here's your shout out. The esports Hungary driver who's just going to nip ahead of me there in 5th place. So let's see if we can repeat that victory in the last race with another first place here, or at least on the podium, pick up some more badly needed DR points so I can get back into the high split racing. Dart Prince with the number 1 on this kart, so the highest ranked driver in this race. Let's see if he's going to try and murder another Italian driver in this race here, as I think they're fighting again. I'm surprised the Italian driver hasn't just already decided to get rid of him, as I think we lost someone there. That might be Johnny Herbert, and we are going round the hairpin at the bottom of the track, trying to keep touch with the group ahead. So a little bit of chaos there to start off with, but it's all settled down now. We're going to follow in the slipstream of the Italian driver, try and catch up with these three who are battling ahead. And it's going to be all to play for us. I think the Italian driver does a little bit of a lift, and I lose some time giving him a tap. As our Hungarian friend goes very wide there on the right hand side, actually touches the barrier. And we get it massively locked up, so it's a very messy start to this race. And the sooner we can kind of get our act together, we might actually start driving well and picking up some points. As we go for a move here on the inside, a little bit aggressive. I think there's a bit of contact, but we make it stick. And we're trying to catch up now with the group ahead. We've got a Brit, a Hungarian and an Italian to contend with. So let's see what happens here. That's the Hungarian driver I can see making a move for the lead, and I think he's going to take it. And the British driver has run very wide and is going to lose a lot of time. So let's see if we can slingshot off his slipstream, which would be great. He's actually picked up that speed pretty quickly, which is interesting. You can see the Italian driver going very wide there again. It looks, I think, a lot easier than it is to drive these karts. They're very twitchy, and you have to brake and get on the throttle very quickly. I think it's great practice for real-world karting, as the Italian driver makes the move of the century there to take both of us. So let's see if we can follow these two guys as we fight for the lead. Italian driver loses out there. He's still on my outside. Not going to try and make a move here. That would be playing stupid games and probably winning a stupid prize. As we get a little tap by the Italian driver. But we're still in contention here, so it's contact heavy this race, but we're keeping it on track, and we're definitely in this leading pack and probably going to pull away from the pack behind, hopefully, as they're out of slipstream range. So this is not a bad position to be in at the back of a kind of train of karts like this, but still in slipstream range, as the karts are battling out, getting 3 wide into the first corner, and a lot of contact there as we also lock up, but it's not too bad of a line, and we're definitely now about to enter the fray for this pack here in the penultimate lap, so it's dangerous times. We could definitely pick up the win here again, but again we could get punted off as well. So let's see what happens as we follow our Hungarian friend, the ROH esports driver. No doubt a professional outfit. Let's see if we can get a good exit here as I go pretty narrow, so that's going to compromise me, and yeah, I lose the place to the Italian driver, but still going to be in the slipstream range. You can see just how much the drivers behind have dropped off, so you really need to stay in contact with the leading pack if you want to be winning these races, unless of course they just decide to bin each other off like we've been seeing. So let's see what's going to happen here as we go 4 wide into this corner. Have you ever seen anything more ridiculous than that? As we actually, that's not a bad line, so we're going to slot in here in 4th place. It's all to play for. It's the last lap as we get a bit of a tap and another one, and we've gone off, and that would break your back going over that kind of sand pit there, sand trap, and that's it. We never recovered in this race, so we're just trying to keep ahead of Guitar Dude there. But yeah, 7th place for us. You can see Pikachu is not happy. That is actually my real face under my helmet when I go karting, just constantly. and generally not happy with my driving. So let's see what happens here. Got a 7th on the kart. We decided to do another race, last race of the evening. Got Johnny Airbet and the British driver again. So can we pick up another win and make up for that punting in the last race? Let's see. As we kind of messed it up going into the first corner, but we're still in contention. The Polish driver ahead, I think, has a penalty. You can see a red box there by his number. And he might have another one there as he punts off the French driver. Actually, I don't think he had a penalty. I think that was just his flag, so that's me being an idiot. But we follow this train of karts now as we go into the hairpin at the back of the track. We've seen the chaos can unfold in the previous races. We've just got to keep our wits about us. As we cut the corner there a bit, probably won't get a penalty. But we've just got to be sensible here, not do anything too crazy, work our way up the pack, let other people make mistakes. A bit like real world karting. So let's see what happens here as we go into lap 2. The big DR points still on offer. We're still in touching distance of that pack ahead as they're all going to duke it out. The Italian driver going very wide to the left there and now very wide to the right. But let's see if we can get a good exit here and get past him as soon as possible, because that's something we need to do to pick up the points. And I imagine there's going to be some carnage in that pack ahead. I say a lot of them run wide there, so that's going to bring us back into contention. And one of the dangerous things about these races is if people run wide and then get back on the racing line, it's a bit like having to avoid homing missiles that are kind of coming back on track. As someone locks up there, I think it's the Polish driver. Looked like he had a catastrophic failure, and he's going to drop right to the back here. So we're going to slot in behind Johnny Airbet, try and use the slipstream as he will dance around. And again, this is not a bad position to be in. We've got a kart on my inside, going to be very careful not to make contact. A couple of drivers running wide. We lose Johnny Airbet there, RIP. And there's a gap here. Can we do an unorthodox brake manoeuvre in the middle? Well, we had enough space to brake properly, but we still ran wide and braked too late. That's my bad. And we lose the Italian driver again, so we're going to say goodbye to the Italian as we now follow the British driver. We're up into 4th place, so we're picking up these places slowly. So the British driver runs a bit wide, and the top 2 are going side by side into this corner. A bit of a dangerous corner to do that. It's definitely a win still on potential offer here, as we follow the British driver who dipped a wheel, and we brake very late. That's quite an aggressive move. But we're going to be right in the slipstream now. He gets a better exit, but I imagine at some point in the straight we're going to start to reel him in slightly, especially around this corner at the back here. I've noticed where you can really make up some ground if you're in the slipstream. Just seems to keep those revs up a little bit, and that's exactly what we do here. Probably a bit too far away to have a look, but we just need to make sure that we don't mess up this corner as we get a nice little lock, but then we run a little bit wide. And the British driver could do the cutbacks. That's twice now we haven't really got that corner together. I think these daily races are going to be good practice for me to kind of get my consistency, get my braking better as it gets a bit tight there. My pedals actually broke last week, so I had to order in some new pedals. Got the T3PA Thrustmaster Pro pedals with a braking mod, so that's hopefully going to give me a bit more consistency. The only downside to them is that you can't actually press the pedals all the way in because of the brake mod, and because GT Sport seems to recalibrate the pedals every so often, sometimes you'll go to tap the brakes and actually it won't register anything at all. But have a review on those brakes, I think, because they're a nice bit of kit and some people might be interested in them. But we're going to go into the last lap now. What's on offer? Potential win, potential podium. If this is a real world karting race, I'd be doing everything I possibly could to be getting on the podium. It's never nice to finish in 4th place. And we're making up ground now, and someone's going to do a do or die, I think. Got that feeling as everyone kind of makes it through here, but people are going too wide. British driver here, Essex Harvey dips a wheel, and that's never a good place to go too wide through there, and the Frenchman loses out. So let's see what happens, all to play for. As, oh no, we lose one of our compatriots, the British driver there, who takes a stage left and exits from proceedings. Now we're in 3rd place here. We've got 2 drivers behind us. One of them's got a massive overspeed, the Italian, well, a bit of an overspeed, it's a bit of an exaggeration. But let's see if we can hold on to the podium. Do we cover the inside line? Not enough. As someone speeds us through, but they get a little tap, and it's going to be an absolute drag race for the line. Who's going to get 3rd place? And I just get to the line first by 200 or 100th of a second. It doesn't really get much closer than that, to be honest. That was pretty close. And that was a great race. So I've really been enjoying the karting races this week so far. It's a lot better than the Tesla races. So yeah, so definitely have a look at the karting races week in Gran Turismo Sport if you can. I'll be doing some more videos later this week, some more real-world karting footage that I took from a race just before the quarantine. And that was also a really close race. So I'll see you then. Please do subscribe if you like these videos. Really enjoy making them, really enjoy answering your comments, and I'll see you next time.